Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, we saw the birth of the Poison Prince. The Poison Fangs are now finally back in Adam's line. After generations and generations of their absence, we finally have one of Adam's most prominent features in our families again. I guess it's all thanks to the luck of our little poison healer over here. I do wonder if Sienna had a bit of a role to play. Since she has the toxic body and the scorpion tail, she's a little ball of poison herself. And at the very least, she'll be able to teach little Tanunu how to pick the poison berries. If we do have any around here in her clearing, I'm sure she would know. They're probably some of her favorite foods. He does have his second gem now anyways, so that means he would be granted a little bit more freedom when it comes to exploring. Rovanu's side of the family was all about exploration after all, so even though we don't know what's waiting for them closer to the ports, I wouldn't be surprised if his father lets him wander wherever he wishes. He'll have Sienna by his side anyways to keep him protected. But perhaps more importantly, we do have yet another blocking route to destroy by our explorers. Rose Quartz and the company following her managed to stumble directly into one of the last blocking routes that we need. And then we also have this one up in the clearing, which is literally the last one in our journeys. Then all of those routes on the port should just wither away, and we'll be able to travel to our next island. So go ahead and do the honors, Mango. You can swipe this one down for us. And now we just need you to clear out a pathway toward this other clearing. Now, so far we haven't seen a single ape on this island, which still has me a little bit worried. I wouldn't be surprised if they're hovering near some clearings, since that tends to be where a lot of these stinky fruit trees are. We know that they prefer to eat those when they're not chasing down our critters anyways, and we've already ruled out a lot of these stinky fruits around our main campsites. So it has to be around the outskirts somewhere. That's why the ports have me so nervous. Well, I'm sure we're going to find out soon enough. I guess let's have Mango pick up the grass right next to the nest too. Now I feel like Shark would certainly see this as something of an omen. Surely he's been thinking about asking Rose Quartz? Oh, wait a second. Oh my gosh, there's another little baby off in the grass? Oh, Rose, you have to see if you can find him. Maybe invite him to the tribe? He is a little bit far away right now, though it did look like he had the toxic body, right? Oh, no wonder. He's right next to the toxic berry bush. Oh, and he's actually found one of the roots too. I'm not sure if we buried both of her parents yet, so if not, this would be a great way for her to finish the job. She can come over here to hopefully meet the baby. Oh, it looks like he may have actually buried someone himself. I wonder if he's another little gravedigger. Does he have the digging paw? Yeah, it looks like he does on the other side. Oh, maybe he was burying his parents then since he's so young. Well, let's have Shark try to follow him so we can see what he looks like. Oh my goodness. A little green toxic body with the cracker jaw. And the poison fangs in his inactive traits. Ooh, you might be another good way for us to pull that into our families again. I wonder if he's related to Sienna at all? They both have the toxic body, so I guess I wouldn't be surprised. He must be some very, very distant relative of hers. Though unfortunately we're not going to be able to invite him on this turn. So hopefully he'll stick around Rose Quartz and Shark. They're both two very, very friendly creatures, so it's not as if this little baby has much to worry about. Little Roduke, you stay here, okay? We want to get to know you too. Now as for this side of the family, they actually had a new baby born the other day, and I asked you guys for suggestions as far as what we should name her. And oh my gosh, you guys, you did not disappoint. You had so many good ideas for her name. One of the most popular suggestions was Wolf Spirit, which I thought was very fitting for her thanks to her fluffy tail and her silver coat. But then I saw the suggestion Wolf Song, which instantly clicked for me. Not only is that a good way to harken back to Lionheart's father, The father that he never knew, actually. Who looks so much like this little baby. Oh my goodness, all she's missing are the stripes, and of course the claw too. Kind of fitting that her deformed paw is on the same side where his claw was. Now I'm sure Lionheart wouldn't really know that since he didn't know his father at all. He had never ever met Wolfsbane. But it would be a good way for him to honor his memory. You know, I don't think Lionheart has even had a father figure before. I guess that's worth keeping in mind. But Wolfsong also relates to Needle's side of the family too. Needle and Dagger were both very well known for their love of music, because Dagger took on so many mates who enjoyed those songs as well. So Wolfsong is like the perfect marriage between both of those families to me. And again, thank you guys so much for all of your suggestions, because I have plenty of names for this little family now. So I do think that Lionheart is getting dangerously close yet again to passing away, thanks to that illness of his. So we're going to have to see if he can get to another one of those healing fruits, because I would enjoy it if he could potentially have another baby with Needle before he does end up succumbing to his illness. It's far too soon for him to pass away, after they just admitted their feelings to each other, and after Needle just lost her father as well. So if we can find a way for Needle to hopefully clear out a little bit more of this grass, the really thick stuff, because I don't think that he's going to be able to get through it. We'll have to ask if maybe Cadence wouldn't mind watching after the baby, I guess, and I'm sure that she wouldn't, though it would be nice if she could dig up some of those tasty roots along the way. Yeah, come on over here, scoop up this root for us, and then you can stay right next to Wolfsong. This family is all so tight-knit that I know she wouldn't mind keeping watch. Now, is there any way for us to do this with the 2 turns that we have left, so that Lionheart will still be able to get through? I'm a little bit worried that she's going to block him here. Let's have him scoot over this way. Ah, good, then jump straight next to Apricot and gobble up that healing fruit, just in time to save him. Apricot is also sick, so honestly, these two could sit side by side and it wouldn't be a problem. It's not as if they're going to contract any extra illnesses from each other. But I'm sure that Apricot wants to get back to her baby, so maybe after purring for Lionheart to take some of the damage off of him, take some of the strain away from that illness of his, she'll cross the gap to get next to her baby Peach, and mourn over the loss of her mate as well. So many of our tribe mates have passed away recently. I'm sure that's very tough for her to swallow because they just started a family together. Now Peach has her second gem too, so we can have her toddle up to the tree. And I guess she can pick up right where her father left off, grabbing all of those delicious berries to keep our tribe fed. And hopefully cracking open those acorns too. Oh my goodness, and look at this! Little Roduke is still sticking right by their sides. Yeah, something tells me he appreciates the company. He probably didn't want to be alone either. So now, little Sienna, maybe you can bring Nunu over to some poison berries. Let's see if she can remember where they are. If we bring her up to the outskirts, we can sniff around for a moment. Oh my goodness, revealing tons of roots. Oh, dig those up straight away. We desperately need the food. Let's bring her over to this one too, and then she can settle down in the nest. And I suppose we could always have another baby between them if we're lucky. If the fertility doesn't get in the way. There we go. One more baby for the nest. Hopefully one just as lucky as little Nunu. The one problem with the poison fangs is that they're not very good at smelling. So this might actually be a bit of an issue. If we're going to send him out exploring into the thickest of jungle weeds, he's actually not going to know if he's about to stumble straight into a trap, particularly one of those carnivorous plants, because he can't smell beyond this barrier of tiles that he can already see. So I guess he's going to have to leave most of the navigating to Sienna, and we'll just have to cross our fingers that he can warn her if he does sense any danger. But I think that's it for this turn. So let's go back here. That way we should be able to invite little Roduke. Was that his name? Yeah, little Roduke right away. Go ahead and offer up a little bit of your extra food, Shark. I know we don't really have that much to spare. Oh my gosh. What? How did we not notice that before? Oh my gosh, there's actually another blocking route right here? Is that what you were trying to show us, little one? So we could just destroy this and like be done with it right now? Oh my goodness. Well, first things first, let's just make sure that no dangers have come creeping out of the darkness. Now that we're so close to finishing, I wouldn't be surprised if the apes want to put a stop to that very quickly. But I think this is it, so Roduke, go ahead and swipe that down. And now, are the routes clear? Did we find them all? Yes! Oh, now we can leave for the next island, and I know for sure that this is a swampland. So Tanunu, your job is about to get much, much bigger. Let's go see what your new little sister looks like. Oh my goodness, she actually looks quite a bit like Shark. She has the same coloring and everything. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the poison fangs. She doesn't even have it in her traits. But she is still super, super cute. Her name is Isana, and I'm pretty sure that that was actually a name from our past. It sounds familiar, like maybe one of the Bluebird leaders had used that name before. So I guess they have high hopes for her, and I have a feeling that she's probably going to stay behind here to help her family gather food. Let's have Sunrose go off this way though to dig up some more of those roots. And watch carefully as Sienna leads their baby into the darkness. This is super, super risky because we don't know what's waiting ahead of them. So it's going to be kind of like a leap of faith. So far, so good. Oh my gosh, just barely though. Oh, Sienna, you are so, so lucky that you took the lead there. We're going to have to find a safer route because there's no way for us to get around that carnivorous plant. Those thick weeds are kind of a hindrance. Maybe we should go this way around the tree? We'll have her pick up this grass right here, so Tanunu can scoot to the side. That is unfortunately leading us straight toward a pile of debris. And this isn't one of the trees we can interact with, right? Yeah, so it looks like this one is not spawning any apes. So I hope you're going to be safe for now. The debris makes it so they basically make a lot of noise. They're not stealthy after they step on the leaves. That means if there's a hearing ape out here somewhere, they'd be able to locate him very, very easily. So hopefully he'll be able to stay quiet enough to keep his family safe overnight. Let's have Rovanu scoot over here to pick up some more of those stinky fruits. Actually, they are really playing with fire right now. I think they've gotten a little bit too comfortable without the apes knocking on their door. They must not remember what it was like to have the apes chasing after them, because the Lionheart's family did such a good job of keeping everybody safe. I guess that means we'll have to move you guys toward the ports as well, because of course Cadence has a brand new sense of purpose. She knows she needs to lead her family up to the next mission in their journey. So that means this is going to be our last chance to collect some food. The berries, of course, and then the acorns too. It would be nice if somebody could help out Peach, but nobody else has the nimble fingers. Oh, is there a place where maybe little Rodu could pick up some acorns? Well, we have one way over here, but that's kind of out of the way. So hopefully he can sustain himself on the poison berries instead. Goodness knows that Shark and Rose Quartz don't really have a way to use them. We don't want them taking any extra damage without somebody to heal them first. We have some more roots out this way though, so maybe it's time that we have Rose Quartz and Shark return to the nest. Now that they have a brand new baby to watch after. Oh, they can adopt Roduke together, take him right underneath their wings. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. Let's have them lead him back toward their home. It is worth noting that there is actually potential for toxic-bodied babies in their line too. You would think it would be just the water body, since they both have it, but they also both have the toxic body and their inactive traits. So fingers crossed we're going to see some more colorful little babies popping up, because that would be super helpful in these swamplands too. Ooh, look at this mango. You can jump on the tree stump and sniff around. See if you can find any wandering apes, or hopefully a little bit of extra food. Yeah, I think before we start heading off, we're going to focus on making sure that we have enough to survive once we get there. I think I'm actually going to make Wolfsong's family colors pink, just like her father. That way things don't get too confusing with so many orange-gemmed babies. And now that Needle can return to her baby's side, with Lionheart in tow of course, we can have Cadence go out searching for the roots to bring back to her family again. Without the bluebirds, I suppose, technically, we don't even have to keep her safe. There's nobody to swoop out of the skies and take her away. But since they are so connected to Adam's old ways, I know without a doubt that they wouldn't want to risk it. That was one of Adam's greatest rules. And just in case things take a turn for the worst overnight, let's see if maybe we can have Lionheart have that one last baby with Needle. We'll breed them hopefully. Oh, don't tell me the fertility's going to get in the way. Thank goodness. So even if he does end up passing, because he is very, very close, we'll still have one more baby for Needle to have once little Wolfsong is old enough to toddle out of the nest. I guess we could bring Apricot down here to pick up the stinky fruits for now. She's going to need some way to help her baby after all. She doesn't want her to be all alone on food duty, and at the moment it kind of seems like she is. So that's the end of this turn too. Let's go ahead and skip the day, but I am going to watch these two up in the north, because I'm very, very curious if the apes are spawning now. I wonder if they were just waiting for us to unblock those ports, lying in wait in the ape trees. Oh, can you imagine? It still seems like everything is relatively calm though. It is very, very unnerving. I can't wait to leave this island behind us because I am done with this paranoia. I guess our best bet would be to bring Tanunu through the swamps anyway. So let's see if we can hopefully clear out a pathway that Sienna can join him on. We already know we don't want her stepping over here, so we're not going to pick up those weeds. I guess she's going to have to trail right behind him after all. And then we'll sniff around to see if she notices anything. The healing fruits as always. Of course, that would be right at the front of her mind. Her healing fruits are the most important part of her home, so she has to keep track of them. But it doesn't seem like we're going to find any berry bushes out here, which is kind of a bummer. I guess they're going to have to rely on the stinky fruit trees, assuming that that one is safe. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed for now. So we'll have his parents go ahead and gather up as many of these stinky fruits as they can carry, just enough to make sure that Isana is going to be nice and well fed. And then she should be able to take up their place once they end up passing away, because it looks as if their days are almost over. I guess we're going to have Isana carry the bluebird feather to Tanunu. It doesn't seem like he's going to be around to take it once Ravanu passes. Well, that's kind of sad, though I'm sure that she wouldn't mind. She probably wants to see her big brother again after all. She was so young when he disappeared. Oh, and poor Roduke is so hot in this thick jungle heat. Hopefully it'll cool down for him a little bit so he can help out too. Because I know that he'll want to feed his new little siblings some poison berries, after he takes care of them properly, of course. Prepares them for some safe consumption, just like Adam used to do for his kids. So I'm not going to bother tampering with their body genetics, because I am curious what the game is going to give us. Sometimes I like to just see what sort of a random baby they spit out, so whether we get the water body or the toxic body will be a mystery. But let's give them the stinky tail. Both of them can carry that, since I do believe Shark has it in his inactive traits. And then I do want to give them the nimble fingers too, because no matter which body their baby is born with, the nimble fingers will be super helpful for gathering up food. So go ahead and breed with Rose Quartz, and then we'll have her scoot her way into the nest. Though I do believe, yeah, there were some tasty roots around here. Well, I guess you can pick that up on the next turn. It does stink that so many of our creatures are having trouble in the heat, because it just takes away the extra turn of energy. One where we could potentially be focusing on food collecting instead. Now, everything still looks safe and sound out here, Mango? No apes in this clearing? None so far. I think he will still go after those extra blocking roots though, because they do give us food, and that's what we desperately need. Anything out here for you to gather, Cadence? It actually looks like most of the roots have disappeared from this area, so it might be time for her to pack up her family and move on. Luckily, it won't be quite so hard for our creatures to maneuver in these parts, because despite what they might think about their flighty cousins, they did make them a pretty excellent pathway straight up to their next clearing. There's only a few weeds that have grown back in the meantime. So let's have a wolf song make her first steps out of the nest. I bet she's super eager to do some more exploring. Lionheart is getting very close to the end of his lifespan, but he can actually help Wolfsong by leading her out into the clearing where he used to call home. The same place where his mother passed. Oh, this has to be a pretty sad sight for him. I'm not sure if he even knew that she passed away. Well, he's certainly going to find out now, so go ahead and pick some of those stinky fruits that she loves so much, just as a little way to remember her by. We'll have Needle follow you guys too. Even though she is moving a bit slower at the moment, she's not going to let you get too far away from her. I suppose we could have her settle down right here for now, right behind her daughter, which should give Cadence the chance to sniff around for yet some more of those roots. I don't even see any up here though. Well, that is super disappointing. There must be some along the pathway, right? I mean, Sunrose had so much luck up here, so if nothing else, they should have a good feast once they finally reunite with the rest of the family. I think that's it yet again though, so let's see what happens to Tanunu this time. Oh, he's fully grown now. Oh my goodness, your final gem. And just in time, because it seems as if those pesky bugs are looking to give you the sleeping sickness. We're going to have to get you out of there fast, because that is one thing that would surely end these two. They can't run away from apes if they're infected by the sleeping sickness after all. Yes! Oh, we do have some berry bushes up here. Okay, so we have one normal berry bush to pick from, and it's full of berries too, yes! So go ahead and scoop up as many as you can carry. Then we'll bring Sienna to your other side, so maybe she could think about grabbing up some of those for you. She can show you how it's done at least, because it's not as though his family has indulged in them in quite a while. Now, sweet little Asana, I know it's a big job to ask of you, but we're going to see if you can cart that bluebird feather over to your big brother, because Rofanu is unfortunately just about to pass away. So as you two share your very final meal of stinky fruits, and look how many she can swipe off of those trees. She is a master at collecting stinky fruits. We'll see if hopefully you can pick up their trail. We might want to consider having her roll around in the mud just to get rid of the smelly scent on her fur. But honestly, I feel like that might end up being a waste of her turn, because we do really need to focus on the food instead. Oh my goodness! We have a little water mushroom in the nest? Oh, with the violet eyes too. Look at this baby. Was he related to any mushrooms? Let's see. Well, he's related to Illusion, and she had some of the trickster's blood, so maybe that's why this little baby looks so much like Truffle. A little trickster mushroom water baby. What an interesting mix. Now at least he has the digging paw, so he'll be able to pick up the roots just like his mother. But unfortunately that does mean that he won't be scooping up any shells in the future. So you better go ahead and show your baby how it's done. That way he'll be prepared for the future. I kind of want to name this baby Jasper, because his spots almost remind me of the spots that you can find on the Jasper gemstone, and it would fit with Rose Quartz's theme, especially because he's another one of those grave diggers. So I think that's what your name is going to be. Jasper the Trickster Mushroom Baby. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the home island gene, but we know that Tununu does, so we still definitely have a way to pass that in the future, since he is without a doubt going to go with us to the next island. Now hopefully Mango can skip his way straight into the clearing next. Nope, it looks like some of those weeds are unfortunately blocking him. But now he can dive in, sniff around just in case. Oh, this actually looks to be a pretty good area to gather up some food. So let's have you get ready to scoop up the blocking root and some of the red fruits on the next turn, because it looks like everything is safe and sound so far. There's no apes lurking around this clearing, and it's probably because there's really not too much food for them to eat. And despite Roduke's love for the poison berries, we don't want him getting too separated either. So we'll make sure that Shark is clearing out the pathway for him, and Rose Quartz can do the same. We want him to come along the journey with us too. Now, this must be Lionheart's very last day. I don't think he's going to waste any turns on the healing fruits this time. Maybe seeing the remains of his adopted mother here was just too much for him to bear, so he's going to spend his very final day collecting stinky fruits for us, to give to his little daughter Wolf Song, and urge them on the pathway to the next ports. He knows how important that is to their family. I suppose that Apricot is going to have to do the same for Peach. She really wanted to teach her more, especially to teach her how to heal. Sickness seems to spread so quickly in the jungle, so it is awfully important that she learns as fast as she can. But at least what she knows now should hopefully keep her alive. It'll make her a valuable member of the tribe for sure. So it's not as though anyone is going to leave her behind, right? Surely they're going to wait for her to catch up. We'll have Cadence jump ahead though, because I do want her to find some more of those roots. Let's see, any up this way? Nope, it looks like you guys are going to follow the lone trail of the bluebirds, because food has never been more scarce. Well, that alone is a good reason for us to pack up and move on, because the next island should be much easier for us to gather food from. I think that should be the end of our turns though, so one last time, let's go ahead and skip the day, just to make sure that our two babies in the north are going to be okay. Ooh, there's Dodomingos out here? Really? Swamp Dodomingos lurking around our poison berries? There must be a nest of some sort out here then. Very, very interesting. Maybe that means that somebody is actually making a home there? Though thanks to the rain, this should be a great time for us to collect the very last of our food, so we can get out of here in the next episode. I don't want to say it, but I am still shocked that we have not seen a single ape on this island. Like, hopefully this Dodomingo is not going to be the bringer of chaos. Hopefully this is a good omen, and not one that some different creatures are starting to spawn now. You guys are so close. You'll have to try your best to carve out that path though. The one difference between Tununu and his father is that he's a little bit more reckless, and he hasn't been maintaining his paths very well. It's only going to make it more difficult for other creatures to find him, especially his little sister Isana, who will hopefully be delivering that bluebird feather to him in the next episode. She looks so tiny here, right between the remains of both of her parents. I hope Cadence will take pity on her. Maybe she'll be able to help set their souls to rest. Regardless of their family's feud, I think that much she could offer this baby. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!